You're listening to the SClubBeat with Dale and Katey.
Hello, S-Clubbers, and welcome back to the SClubBeat. I am Dale.
And I'm Katey.
And today we are on part 2 of our Hollywood 7 revisit, part 2. So we're going to go over 4 episodes again. We're going to be joined by the ever fabulous, ever lovely, ever gorgeous Courtney. And we love her so much. So I don't really have much to say. We're just going to get going today, Katey.
I'm ready.
Should we do a little S-Club jump out? Are you pumped for the episode, Katey? I think we did that last time.
Everybody get pumped?
Everybody get pumped.
No, we're just wishing for a summertime feeling.
Well, I want to dance, Katey. That's what I want to do. I want to dance. I don't know about you.
You got to tell what our episodes are.
Hello, friend.
Hi, Courtney. Hi.
Hi, Courtney. So today we're here to discuss our part 2 of Hollywood 7. Does anybody have anything to bring up before we begin? Katey?
They need to get more creative with the episode titles. I know that's not what you wanted me to bring up, but
It's not. But this one, I think they went. Do y'all know how Friends does the episodes? Like all of their episodes start with the. I think that's what they were trying to do with this. I don't think it worked in the same way though.
No.
But Katey and Courtney, last week we discussed new Hannah in one of the episodes, and I looked her up earlier this afternoon, Katey, and her name is also Katey. Her name is Katie Lohman. And do you want to know what she did in the months prior, Courtney?
would love to know.
She was Playmate of the Year for Playboy in April of 2001. So this was about 5 months prior to filming Hollywood 7. So 19 Management allowed Playmate of the Year to appear in a children's television show. I just want to throw that out there. Just
The more you know.
the more you know, the more you know. So I don't really have much else to say. But Courtney, did you want to go ahead and kick it off with going over The Kiss, the episode we were all rooting for as a child because we love some S Club love in the house. I don't want to give away the episode, Katey. I think I just did that.
Oh my God. I think the title gave it away.
What are your guys' feelings about this, like the topic of that?
I don't know if it was really necessary. Like, I don't know if it was necessary for the TV show world. Like, what purpose did it serve?
It was the show coming out.
Yes, but then they never did anything else with it. Like, it was never mentioned again.
It seemed like it was just the topic at the time. Like, it was just something to talk about, but it never held any weight.
But they dated for several years even after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Paul left in Viva, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. Like, Hannah didn't take it the hardest. Like, she wasn't...
She did take it the hardest.
I wouldn't say she did. I guess that we can discuss that in Viva.
We'll get there.
All right, give us a couple more months. We got there. But yes, Courtney, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I always had an ick when this episode came on, because to me I was like, oh, they're friends, like why are they kissing? And when you're young and you don't understand the level of anything, I always felt really icky about it.
Icky. Yeah.
I
get that.
It gave me the ick, but now that I know the backstory, it feels fine and it's lovely. But yeah, when I was a kid, it gave me the ick. But it is one of my top favorite episodes because of the dance routine to Show Me Your Colors. But we'll get there. Okay, so we begin by saying, she begins by saying how great everything is in the new house. They have this beautiful house. It's lovely. Life's good, but it's missing a pet. And in her very strong accent, that quote that I'll butcher it. Maybe Katey, you can do it. No, you know what I'm talking about? An ass in a house without a pet.
I mean, ass ain't ass without a pet, like a dog.
she does it such a strong way.
Yeah, I
but
tried
don't just
to mock her, or not mock, but emulate her in the last episode, and it did not work. Like,
I never died.
house
sounds better
in an
than
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I always admire her accent.
I can't do it. Y'all are better than me. At least y'all are trying.
Well, and John, he doesn't want a dog though. He thinks that it will just demand too much attention. Tina wants a dog.
Which is ironic because during those times, John was all about his dog Molly.
That's true.
And now he has 3 dogs, and he has them like tattooed on him.
Yeah.
Dogs can save lives.
So he's a dog lover, but he was rooting for a cat in the show.
But something that always, this is probably too off topic, but Rachel in like all of her interviews always said she was a dog girl, but she has a cat. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, sorry. I'll just have
Very misleading, hey?
it is. I'm very confused.
It's a TV show, remember?
It doesn't go along with their regular real lives.
But Hannah and Paul kissing in this episode, y'all can't tell me that life doesn't imitate art.
Yeah, fire that.
I think art imitated. Well, no, it would be life imitated art. Okay. Anyways,
Moving on.
yes.
So they all want different things. Bradley also wants a cat, and Paul and John thinks a cat are better because they're just they're less to deal with and they're just more chill. And so the boys, they want cats and the girls want dog pretty much.
Okay, so let's pause this right here. What do y'all prefer?
I mean, I love my dog. Well,
Mm-hmm.
she's not my dog, but I love having a dog, the entertainment of it and stuff. It makes life interesting. But the more I start to travel, the more having a dog is a pain in the butt. Because cats can be more self-sufficient. So
And dog's kind of like a kid. Well, I'm asthmatic, so I have lived my life for the most part without any animals. I do love animals, but my life now, it would be tricky if I had a dog. And I know it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like another kid, basically, especially if it's a So I like
never
the
come to my
cats are
house.
easier.
You can never come to my house.
Got a lot.
I have everything. I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. Anyway.
Well, but if I would have to say cat or dog, I will also go for dog.
Well, I think Katie's answer was cat.
no, I said I love my dogs. Like I had a
But then you said that what a headache there.
yes,
Logistics aside, would you pick a cat or a dog?
a dog. They have more personality.
Yeah.
I really don't know because I have both and I kind of despise them both equally in different ways.
But if you have to pick one, what would you pick?
I would probably have to say cat. Okay, back to the episode.
Quit interrupting.
All right. Okay, well, that was the end of scene anyways. And then, Dean comes in with some news about the record company throwing a party with all the most important people to attend. He wants to prep them for any future conversations that they're going to have. So they start on role-playing some situations, and he advises them to be more upbeat and aggressive because they were being way too submissive and was they British, he called them. So Hannah enters and says, yeah, we got to give it some welly boot.
Give it some welly.
Right, exactly. Give it some what?
Welly boot is a technical term.
All right.
Which I never heard of, and I had to look up at that time too.
I don't get the saying though. Like a welly boot is like it's a actual shoe, like wellies. So I'm like, what is? I don't get the saying of welly boot.
Give it some welly. It's like
Yeah.
some chutzpah, like some
Pizzazz.
Have I talked about this before, Katie?
What?
Welly boots?
I don't think so.
I feel like we had a very in-depth conversation about this in one of the other episodes.
Maybe we did.
I think it probably would have been the Miami 7 episode where they
So
were
the
right
rubber
into the
boot?
water. Yeah,
Maybe.
or like a knee boot, like a really tall rubber boot.
Yeah.
that you go swamping in.
Yeah.
But we have definitely had a conversation about this before, Katie.
Okay. Of substance then.
But it's just weird how that would relate to what they're intending to use it in conversation. Like, how does a duck, like a huge duck boot or whatever?
Who knows these days?
Give it a good kick in the butt. Maybe that's what it means. Give it a welly boot.
Or the big ass boot.
Yeah.
All right. So, so they arrive to the party, and Tina and Rachel are the first to have a conversation with Hugo, one of the directors of Revolving Records, their record company. So they all be acting super intense and crazy. They weirded him out very much so, pretty much beating him up at some point. So they go on, and the other members have some very interesting conversations with interesting people. A lot of weird, odd ones, and they were a little shocked by the type of people that they were meeting, to say the least. So Hannah just has enough of everyone and walks off. Paul sees her from a distance and chops his conversation right off and goes chasing after her. He can tell that something is bothering her, so he's prying, and she opens up and explains just the idea of being successful is kind of fake, and she's worried about losing herself. This is the moment between Paul and her, and he's comforting her, and they naturally, I would say, mutually lean in. I watched that over and over again to figure if it was like one that was kissing the other, but it was pretty mutual. They both leaned in.
He had one up, though, because he had his arm around her. So, I mean, he did have a little more one up
true.
to push her forward.
That's true. But it was in a naturally comforting moment, and it just, yeah, it did lead. It led into the kiss. And concerned about what that all meant, they were quite freaked out and jumped off each other and decided to pretend that nothing happened. So they get back up to the party, and it was a joke, or Hannah tells Tina that, nothing happened. She's like, "What's up, guys? Like, what's up?" And she's like, "No, nothing happened." They're all acting super sketchy. And they go on to do my most favorite performance of Show Me Your Colors.
Such a good
That
song.
was always, so good.
And
And that,
I want to back up real quick to the kiss, because there are so many. Do you know how they release like photo stills from every episode?
Mhm.
There are so many variations of this kiss from like every angle. And I'm just wondering how long that kiss scene took to film, because why do I have one literally at every angle all the way around? Why did they release them all? Why did they release
Good
them?
point.
I don't know.
Public relations.
yeah.
But yes, back to Courtney's favorite performance of Show Me Your Colors. Which part did you love the most?
They all looked good, but Rachel steals the show, obviously. But it's it's the dance routine for me.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would watch that, and I still know that entire dance to this day.
Correct. I was going to ask, did anyone else try to recreate it and know all the dance moves?
I tried. I didn't
Damn.
do too well, but I did try.
And then like when
Some moves, I'm like, how your arm and leg move different ways at different times. I'm like, yeah, that's nope.
I love Rachel Lauren Stevens so much, and the fact that we got this song twice within 5
I know,
episodes
right?
I know, so close together.
kills
Mhm.
me. And
It was just for us.
it was for the girlies, and this is why you can't tell me that Show Me Your Colors wasn't supposed to be a single, because I don't think they do this for any other song
Yeah.
ever.
Except for like Don't Stop Moving and stuff, but that's singles. So
Yeah, and those weren't
Yeah.
even performed in the same season. Was Don't Stop Moving in 2 separate episodes this season being performed?
I don't know. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay, but I
I
don't
haven't
think
watched that far yet.
I don't think it is.
I love her top two. That's
The
a
pink with
classic.
fuchsia.
That's like a classic 2000 top as well. Like I had a top like just like that.
Me too.
Like I'll
But
have to
top-
show her.
Probably for different reasons.
It's a total like the photo that I'll send you. I'll try to find that one. It's a total like millennial photo because I've got
Yeah.
2 little bunches up here and butterfly clips.
It's beautiful.
Butterfly.
Yes.
That shirt pairs real well with some good butterfly bits.
It was my 8th grade graduation.
Amazing.
But is that how the episode ends, Courtney? The amazing
No, there's still more.
Oh,
There is more.
that would have been just been a perfect ending, though.
No.
It would have been, but no, there's more awkwardness coming. All right, where were we here?
Show me your colors. That's where we ended.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's see. Show me your colors. Okay, so we come back to the dog and cat debate. Joe ends up finding a stray dog outside, and he's welcomed into the house by all, which is a nice, lovely moment. So coincidentally that she just finds a scruffy stray dog. She's like, oh, look what I found. Ha ha. Look at that. We have a dog. And
Then we never see him again.
Yes, we do.
no, that's not true. We do see him again.
I don't remember seeing him again.
In your episode that you reviewed.
Okay, so yeah, I find that like my
The
two
cousin-
episodes that I'm doing.
I
also-
literally watched it today. I did not. Courtney's just talking with her completest of this discussion.
Sorry.
I literally
Yes.
watched that today. I did not see the dog.
Yes, we'll discuss it when we get to it. But yes, he's on the
Okay.
episode.
Who knew? Oh,
You'll
he's the
see
one
that
that shares
there's
with
two
Joe.
episodes.
No. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's
My other episode has the dog too, though.
is it the cousin? It has to be the cousin. The one with the
No.
race.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
the
don't
one
think that's
chasing
it.
Joe.
Yeah.
Is it the dog chasing Joe?
I don't remember a dog chasing Joe. He's at the end though. Bradley's holding him. We'll get to that when we get to that. We're still on.
Where the other time? I don't have that note down because I don't remember the dog.
Okay. Back to the kiss again.
So we get
Poor
back to
Courtney's
the-
never going to get through the episode.
It's okay. It's a good episode. It deserves the time.
It deserves a 17-minute second to get through it.
Anyways, so we go back to the kiss topic. Hannah's just having a hard time with it all. So she tells Tina just to see if it means anything to her and tells her not to tell anybody. And then Paul tells John also the same thing. Don't tell anybody. But John tells Bradley, Tina tells Rachel, who tells Joe, and they all know at this point. So Hannah starts to get very stressed over the situation, and tensions are very high. But Joe lets them know that they all know. So it's okay, they can relax, everybody knows, and they feel a bit relieved after that. But further discussions about how it might break up the band and cause problems in the future, they decide to try and stop this natural thing from happening. So John hypnotizes.
natural to them.
It is. So John hypnotizes them with some techniques he learned in school from somebody. And it seemed to have worked. And they go on with their day. And then we just finish by Brad trying to use the same technique on their newfound dog and turn him into a cat. Didn't work, but
Every dog. That is it.
that's it.
That's it. See, she got through it, Katie. He got through it. Do we have any comments to end off this episode? Other than I never remember seeing the dog again?
Did we need the dog though?
No, it offered nothing to the plot line. So next up, Katie, do you want to go over your next episode?
The fan.
The Fan, which is
about
weird.
me.
Which is weird, Katie, because at this point they don't have any music out. And I don't think they've made any public performances. Like all of the performances have been private performances. So I'm exactly not sure how they're as popular as they claim to be in this episode, but it's not tracking.
But I mean, technically, LA came before this. They performed at the cafe a lot, so maybe she knew them from cafe days.
Maybe she just saw them on the street or when they're performing or recording
read all
some
the
video or something,
P-
right?
The
And
PO, the PR, you know, when they were all over the cover of magazines.
Also doesn't make sense.
it's true. They are magazines, though, right?
Yeah.
Could have seen.
Okay. Anyway, Katie, do you want to go over the fan?
Okay. So we start by the boys are having a little a cappella jam session of Summertime Feeling. A lot of butt shaking. And they're using everything as microphones. One of them's got a shoe. Somebody's got a Barbie. I think somebody's got a remote. Joe and Hannah interrupt them, start making fun of them, and they said, we're practicing for the shoot. They look like Wallies. Not Wellies, well, Wallies. Yes. And they're like, well, we're going to be prepared and you won't. So they get on with their practicing and they meet with Dean, with the director. The director, I couldn't tell watching it if he called them, he said, are you the S band or the S bend? I couldn't tell on that one, but he does not call them S Club.
The S band.
And he's a little cocky.
Are you the S bend?
S Club?
Whatever.
What's called the boys, have ideas. And he's like, yeah, no, I got my own ideas. Dean's a little upset because the guy didn't remember him. So he's trying to play it cool. He's like, oh, yeah, you're joking. Haha. The director said that he wants to do yin and yang, which they immediately groan about. And he wants the girls in black and the boys in white. And we're talking like ninja outfits. They perform, they dance a little. And the director's like, no, I don't like it. There's too much black. Let's get the boys in black and the girls in white. So they switch it up. We get Paul singing his first verse. And he gets to his verse and the director says, cut again. He's not happy. Next we see Bradley at the snack table and a girl comes up and asks for his autograph. So John and Paul run up to him and they're like, this is a big moment. You got to perfect your autograph. And they're making fun of his autograph because they say it does not say Bradley McIntosh. Then his pen runs out, so he can't even finish the autograph.
Bradley Madhouse.
Yeah. It was like Bromley Madhouse or something like that. Looks really weird. We go back to the director's got him on a new set. They're like in front of a seal aquarium at a zoo or something. But they're in cowboy outfits. And the band is not happy about it. And the guy's trying to be like, I've got this vision. And they're just like, whatever, dude. So he tells Tracy and Jane to go stand over here. Tina and Joe. Helen and Rebecca go stand over here. Rachel and Hannah. And then he says, Bentley, Phil, and Jim, you're going in the cage. Or in the aquarium tank thing, standing by some rocks and stuff. And they're like, yeah, no, this isn't working. Because the boys are like, I can't see anything. They're all hidden. Director's like, cut. Don't like the idea. Bradley, Joe, John, and Hannah, they're done with the set. They're like, I'm exhausted. They're complaining about the costumes. John tells Bradley that, look at his outfit. And Bradley's like, this is my real clothes. Bradley says he's going home. He's tired. Bradley leaves to go home. And he notices the girl is following him. The girl's following him. He looks back and she's still there. So he's running faster and faster. And I'd be freaked out if that girl was chasing me. But we can't say that we wouldn't be the same.
This is what I feel Rachel Stevens looks like every time she finds out I'm in the same country as her.
Yeah. Looking at the trees. Is she?
Yeah.
Are you behind him?
Yeah.
Yeah, popping out of the bushes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what Rachel Stevens, that's what it's in her head every time I come to town.
Yeah.
I don't even have to be in the same town. I just have to be in the same country.
The vicinity. And she's like, no, nope.
Dale's here. Gotta go.
Yeah. So next time we see the band, we're still at the zoo. I don't know what this obsession, if it was that director, obsession with the zoo, or if it was the actual director of the episode that had an obsession with the zoo. But I don't see what the point of being at the zoo was. The band is back at the zoo in the underground, aquarium tunnel, dressed in, are they hazmat suits? Blue hazmat suits? I couldn't figure out what they were.
Yeah, they look like it. Yeah, they look like garbage men.
Yeah. The band is still, again, not happy with it. And the boys complain to him. And by doing that, they got pushed further back. They're like, we're the ones who practiced, and you're putting us in the back. And he's like, well, you can stand way back there. A little further, a little further. They perform a little bit more. And we hear Bradley's verse now. We're still getting snippets of the song. So we have Bradley's verse now. Director says, cut. And costume. He's not happy again. Now, the girls are in devil outfits, and the boys are in angel outfits. And they're in like this dome area. Again, band's not happy. So Rachel this time decides to confront the guy, the director. And he retaliates by saying, you can go stand way back there behind Helen and the boys. And she takes her little pitchfork thing and stabs him in the foot. And he's over that costume. He's like, costume, like ready to change. They don't even sing.
So
I have a
something that...
question.
Go ahead.
Did anybody dress up as a devil for Halloween just because of Rachel in that outfit?
No, but Rachel did look so gorgeous.
That was my inspiration for a couple years. So you say.
So gorgeous. But my thing is this is not how music video shoots work. Like, typically, the costume is already planned out. They only have those costumes available. And there's not, like, this big costume department that just has a variety of costumes available. It's usually one set of outfits for
There's
every...
actually 7 of them. But
Yeah, so these are, like, 50 to 70 outfits, like, every, like, for the whole, just this Summertime Feeling video, there had to have been a lot of outfits.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we didn't get a book. Because they spent so much on outfits this season.
probably. So now we got Tina, Joe, and Bradley and Rachel complaining about the costumes. They're sitting on the beach, and the fan is still there. She's waving her sign that says, I love Bradley. So Rachel goes and talks to her and tells her, you know, you're kind of making Bradley uncomfortable, so go away. Hannah, then we cut to the boys, and Hannah, they're at the house talking about the outfits too. And Bradley's, you know, like, I can make anything look good because he's so full of himself. Bradley, the character. And Paul is hitting around about, you know, the cowboy outfits weren't that bad. And they're like, are you serious? And he's like, well, you know, compared to the others. And he's like, okay, fine. I like the cowboy outfits.
Nobody could carry that cowboy outfit off. No one.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't so bad.
What?
What? And they're like, ew, Paul. Like, I don't know what the big deal was.
Like, why is that so bad?
I don't know. They just do anything to bicker, I guess. So after this, we cut to another costume change. They're all in full, what do we call it? Just animal costumes, I guess. So we got a pig.
Furries. I think they're called furries.
Yeah, sure.
Furry costumes.
Whatever they're called.
Furries.
So we got Rachel in a pig outfit. Joe is in a chicken outfit.
The best looking pig I've ever... Can I just mention that? And in German, pig is a sign of good luck.
It's
There you go.
yeah.
I love pigs.
Yeah, me too now.
You have Paul in like a Elvis rooster costume, I guess. Tina's in a red fox. That's what I took it as. I'm guessing that's a red fox. John is a horse. Hannah is a cow. And Bradley, I'm guessing that's a turkey. I couldn't figure out what that was. It was just a bald gray bird. Like, I'm guessing it was supposed to be a turkey. It just was weird.
Gobble, gobble.
Sure. Thanksgiving. And they perform.
I don't think our friends outside of the United States are going to know what that is, Katie.
No, they don't.
So, Thanksgiving is where we eat turkey, and it's always very dry and disgusting. I hate turkey.
And then we take a nap.
Yeah.
And then after we say what we're thankful for, we go shopping and elbow people to get what we want. So this time, while they're performing in the furry outfits, we get a third. What? I'm lost on.
Just just hearing Dale laugh that much with not seeing his face is so weird right now. Like, all I hear is this, like,
So are you laughing at him or laughing at me?
I'm laughing at both.
What did I do?
Furry is someone who dresses up like an animal in a sexual way. So it's
Right.
just to just hear you sip the kinky. It's like,
What are you supposed to call it?
He was kind of he was joking when he said it in the first place.
Okay. You get the band in their animal costumes, performing yet at first. Dale's trying to hold it in. Breathe, Dale.
Oh, okay. Animal costumes.
Yeah, we get a third part of the song, which is the girls singing their bridge part, I guess, or whatever that
Got
part
me
song.
dreaming as clouds.
Not that part. No, the don't waste time on problems.
Don't waste your time on problems. Step aside, let the summertime solve them. Summer dance to send you crazy. Everything you thought. Okay, I got
I've
it.
had these fun just lately. Totally butchered that one.
I don't know what it's lately.
What did I say?
Some about thoughts.
And fungus, but it's have you heard any fun jokes lately?
I know. I thought it says about thoughts.
I don't know what I said. We're gonna have to rewind that back.
Not the right words.
Don't waste your time on problems. Step aside, let the summertime solve them. Summer dance to send you crazy. Everything you thought. Okay, I got it. I also don't know what they say. They say sundials can make you crazy.
No. Satin doors can send you crazy.
Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
It's okay. My sister makes fun of Paul's part because it's like listening to what the flowers say. She's like, they don't talk. Like, what do you listen to flowers for?
That is romantic, Katie.
Anna. The sunflowers do.
Yes, they do talk to you. Anyways, Joe is not happy this time. And her and the director go back and forth, and she said pretty much Joe always resorts to violence. That she's gonna, if she wasn't wearing the costume, she'd slap him.
Well, keep in mind, Rachel's the one who stabbed him in the foot.
Yeah.
So
He's getting
Rachel's-
he should take that hint. Like, he's getting stabbed in the foot. He's being threatened to get slapped. Like, take the hint, dude.
Yeah.
So director decides that we're going to change the focus. The focus is going to be Gina, aka Tina. Okay. And the band's like, no.
And
Tina's
she's even singing the song.
No.
Oh,
I mean, unless you count that girl part at the end.
We don't.
She's like, wait, no, you know what? This might work. And Joe's like, yeah, I'm going to peck your eyes out. Like, it ain't working.
Wait, I think he's got a point. I reckon this could work. Couldn't it? Do you want me to peck your eyes out?
Did you notice how the term that she used though? Like, she used hecking instead of swearing.
I didn't notice.
The way that I forget exactly the words that she used, but I'm gonna stab your pecking eyes out or something. Like, the way that she used pecking was like instead of a swear word.
I didn't get that part. Like, maybe I listened to it wrong because I just thought it was she's gonna peck her eyes out. I might have to listen to that again. So we go back to the house. Bradley is happy that we learned her name is Charlotte. How he learned her name, I don't know. Because all of a sudden he knows her name is Charlotte. And she's gone. He's thinking Rachel. And then John looks out the window and he's like, nope, she's standing there. But this time when they look, she's holding a sign that says, I love Rachel.
Relatable, Charlotte. It's very relatable.
Because Rachel just had to stick her nose in it. So they have a meeting with Dean, complaining about the manager. About the director. And again, Dean is useless. He's like, well, that's it. You just have to work with him. We don't have any other choices. Like any other manager, they would have left by now. Because Mr. Walter didn't do anything for him either.
Mr. Walter.
And they left him.
I forgot about Mr. Walters.
Yeah.
He was never there.
Yeah. Well, neither is Dean. Like, what are you doing? Where do they pay? Well, they're not paying you, but the record company paying you for. Or whoever.
He's always around. Like, he's always there. He's just not really doing anything. He just walks in and opens the door and disses their outfits, like, every time.
Yeah. Or disses their culture or whatever. Like,
yeah,
what are you saying? Why are you saying that? What does that mean? Yeah.
Dean.
We go back to the house again, and Rachel's talking with Charlotte, encouraging her to get a hobby, which I feel like we all need. We've probably been told that. Can you get a hobby besides S Club? Like, no.
To be fair, at this point, it is my hobby. I think it's,
It's a lifestyle.
yeah, I am an S clubber and no one can take that away from me.
Same.
I didn't choose it; it chose me. Yeah.
Yeah, it did choose me.
But if Rachel encouraged Charlotte to get a hobby, she should take up cycling, basketball, cheerleading. Charlotte took up all three and showed up at the house doing all three with the basketball spinning on her head.
Is it
Again.
just the part where Rachel is spinning the basketball on her finger?
Yeah.
Mm.
Spinning.
I mean, they show it later in, like, I think the outtakes where it's just,
Yeah.
her, like, and it's just, like, on a string.
So the band go to the director to, again, do a video shoot, and he's messing with a bunch of lemons. And he says, "You're in my light. Like, I don't need you guys. This is my,
Muse.
this is the band. You know, I'm almost finished directing it." And he said they're more reliable and attractive, looking right at Rachel.
They're much more cooperative, more stylish, more attractive. True artistes.
So like,
Unrelatable. That doesn't correlate with me.
she looks like she's about to knock his head off. Joe yells at him for a bit and says, "You're fired."
Hmm.
So they decide they're going to do their own video. They'll direct it themselves. And they go back to the house. Bradley's working on his autograph, only to discover Charlotte's gone. Like, she's moved on. She's still their fan, but she's got other stuff to focus on.
Hmm.
And then they go to the beach and perform the full version of Summertime Feeling.
Okay, I'm going to note this performance is probably one of the most aesthetically pleasing performances, and I feel like it could have been a music video. Like, the blues and just everything, like this photo shoot. I love this photo shoot so much. I keep using
Like
it.
blues and yellows.
Yeah. It was gorgeous. I love using it in the website. I think for like 3 years, I had it as my gallery design on World of S Club. Just dropping that name real quick. As y'all just want to hop over to World of S Club. But I love that whole scene, the photos that came from that. They're gorgeous. Is that it, Katie?
Yeah, that's it.
That is it. Does anyone have any final comments other than how gorgeous that beach scene is? Like, I don't think
Did you guys ever get like any weird self-conscious feelings about being such a big fan after watching that video? They're like,
I feel like the episode is written for me. I'm just kidding. Like, at this point, I was what, like 12? So I wasn't that big into the community as I am now. So
I think if Rachel would have told me that I was making them uncomfortable, I would have probably cried.
Yeah, like, if Rachel said that to me today, I would probably still cry.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Do you want your domain back? I wouldn't do that. But no, Courtney. I don't. It would have been sad, but we're gonna move on to the next episode, The Cousin. So the episode begins with Joe, Hannah, and Paul arriving at an airport. I think it's called LAX. I can't be sure.
You think?
I think it's called LAX. I'm not sure. And I think one of the members has a song about that. I'm not 100% clear on if there was a song called Sweet Dreams by LAX performed by Rachel Stevens, released in September of 2003.
But it's a different LAX. It's LAX.
No, it's unclear, and I'm 1,000% sure it's about the airport.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to the airport to pick up Hannah's cousin, Ben. So Ben is played by a guy who is in a lot of stuff. He's a very well-known actor that appears in 1 or 2 episodes per random TV shows. He's been in Zoe 101. He has been in Charmed, and he's been in a lot of other TV shows I've never heard of.
I love that Dale put a shout out for Charmed.
I did a shout out for Charmed specifically for Katie. So the cousin arrives and immediately asks Hannah for money for cola. And Hannah gives it to him, like, no big deal.
Because they're just raking in the dough. Well, they do have their advances from the record company, I guess.
And randomly, during this time, the instrumental for Stronger is played, and it really bothers me that we never got a proper performance of that. So I just want to shout out Stronger in this moment, you know, because Stronger is a fantastic song. And like Show Me Your Colors, probably should have been a single. So we go back to the S Club house, and Bradley enters the room and tells Rachel that he has a great idea for their album cover. And he says that the album cover is them all riding horses, with the title of the album being The Magnificent Seven. And I don't know if y'all know this, but this photo actually exists. Like, it's out there in the world. I'll see if I can put it on the screen.
Photo.
And Rachel says in not so many words that it is basically
Yeah.
she says it's and then in the next room, Tina is making a very large, delicious looking sandwich, and she says that the raw onion is what really stabilizes the sandwich. I've personally never made a sandwich that large. I don't know if I could eat it.
I don't know about eating raw onion either.
Well,
On a
it's very common, I think. I don't know. I don't eat sandwiches. But it is
Common.
because you can get it at Subway.
Or something.
Yeah, like you get it at Subway.
Yeah.
So John is just in amazement with the sandwich, and in comes Ben into the kitchen, where he immediately compliments Tina for looking like Nev Campbell. And she's just taken aback. She's like, "Who is this gentleman in my house just complimenting me?" Because, compliments. And
She don't give me love stories.
she doesn't. Tina offers Ben her impeccable sandwich, and then Tina asks Hannah, like, is her cousin single? Like, is he single? Because I think we can go out on a date. So the boys meet Dean on the beach, and Bradley begins to recommend the horse shoot to him, but it's immediately shot down because no one wants to hear about the horse shoot. But Dean asks the boys Dean tells the boys that he wants to run in the marathon and he needs them to train him. Specifically to beat Lou Shaman, which is, I'll get more into that later, but remember the word Lou Shaman or short Shaman, some variation of Lou.
Shaman, yeah.
Shaman. So in the same thing, like in the opposite shot, Ben and Rachel go shopping, and Rachel pays for everything during their shopping trip because Rachel, she just put it on the credit card. She loves her credit cards. And then Hannah pushes Ben aside. It's like, hey, are you going to pay Rachel back for all this stuff? Because, you have all this history of doing all these terrible things and never paying anybody back, looching off people and, using them. And he's like, yes, of course I'm going to pay her back, blah, blah, blah. And Hannah's like, okay. Like,
I'm wondering if, I know there's a lot of plot lines throughout the thing, but
So many plot lines.
skipping totally ahead and seeing double, Hannah says her uncle, or Joe tells Hannah that her uncle's an ex-con. It's probably Ben's dad.
probably. So Tina and Ben then go to lunch, and before they go to lunch, he clarifies, Tina, you just got paid, right? And she's like, yeah, I just got paid a couple days ago. It's like, let's go to the more expensive restaurant. It'll be great. So then Dean meets a client to take over the management for Britney Spears. And I talked about this earlier with Katie. I do not remember this scene airing in the United States. I do not specifically remember Dean meeting with someone to take over Britney Spears' management.
I do.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all.
I think I do as well.
Well, Courtney, you grew up in Canada, so you probably got everything. In the US, they cut a lot of stuff.
No, we did not get a lot of the things that I see watching now. There's like, oh, missed that.
He meets the client, and as he's saying, yeah, you'll just have to ask my other clients. And then, like, Bradley and Paul, which I do remember, come up and start, like, berating Dean for eating all this crap food. I do remember them berating him. I just don't remember, like, them sitting down for that meeting and, like, discussing taking over the management for Britney Spears. So I don't remember that specific part. So we go back to the S Club apartment where Paul is making himself what appears to be a breakfast sandwich. It looks like it has egg on it. And then he gets up to go get the newspaper real quick, which is a morning thing. Like, you get the morning newspaper.
Oh, they had to explain that, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if England has newspapers in the same way we do. So I don't know. They probably do. Like, I don't know if they're delivered. I think that you just pick them up on the way to town. Like, do y'all have paper boys over there? Let us know in the comments. We want to know. We're uneducated Americans. I'm an uneducated American.
I'm not even American.
So as soon as Paul walks away to go get the newspaper, Ben takes Paul's sandwich.
And don't take Paul's food.
Paul needs his food. He's a growing boy.
Yeah.
At this point. And then he grabs the keys to the car and is like, Hannah told me I can take it. So in comes Hannah, and she's just like waking up and she's groggy. She probably came down the stairs, scratched her something 3 times, scratched something 3 times, yawns, and did whatever. Which they could have reused here, because I'm just saying, like, y'all can't make a joke and then never reference again, you know?
No, see, you have to do the reference before the joke is made, not after.
Well, she can't do that every morning and then not do it this morning, Katie.
Yeah, because Joe's already called her out, so now she just changes her habits.
Whatever. So at this point, Rachel enters to complain about Ben using all the hot water. Bradley complains because now they're going to have to walk to Santa Monica to train Dean. And then Hannah's like, whoa, what is going on? And then randomly, Ricky Martin is mentioned again. I don't know why they keep mentioning Ricky Martin, because they also mentioned him in the last episode from the last season.
The Dosh.
Yeah, no, PR.
PR.
But he's randomly brought up again in this episode. But Paul and Bradley go to train Dean for the run, and then like they're just sitting in the middle of the beach, and then Dean's just running around them and he passes out. It's very dramatic. So, the S Club girls approach Ben to pay back everything that he's borrowed, because they are fed up, Courtney. They're just fed up. They're like, why you owe us money. You need to give us everything back. And Ben just happily does that. He's like, here's your money. I don't know why y'all are so stressed. Why do y'all feel like I'm not going to pay you back? And he just pulls out a wad of what looks like fake $100 bills and just gives them to Dean, or gives them to the girls. In the same, like, the corresponding scene, Bradley, Paul, and no, it's John, Bradley, and Dean are at a cafe, and Dean is approached by 2 mobsters who question Dean about S Club performing at Steve Weinstein's daughter's wedding shower. And Steve Weinstein is obviously a play on Harvey Weinstein. We're not going to go too deep into that, but at this point, Lou Pearlman is who they are referencing for the other guy, and a little bit we'll get into the band that he manages. So as the mobsters are explaining to Dean, S Club was supposed to perform at my boss's daughter's wedding shower, and it was some sleeky man in some cheap suit and blah, 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 and they realize immediately that it was Ben. And, you know, at this point in the same scene, John and Bradley walk up to the girls who just got paid by Ben, and someone says, I can't believe we thought you were a fraudster. And Bradley's like, 'cause you are. And then, like, they explain everything, and Hannah's, like, so offended. It's like, how dare you use us? How dare you use us? It's weird to me that S Club are popular. Like, we mentioned it again when they had the random fan. How are they so popular, getting all these performances out of a mobster's daughter's wedding if they haven't released a song, they haven't released an album, there's nothing promoting? Like, why are they how are they successful? Like,
from the cafe gigs.
I don't believe that, because they left, Katie.
They could still be doing them. They're still in the area. Like, why can't they still be doing them?
So as they are talking to Ben, he asks if he can put "You Muffin" on a t-shirt, because, you know, they say "You Muffin" a lot.
Which I don't.
They did in LA, I think. It was bigger in LA, a lot more. Yeah, not as much in Hollywood. But Hannah just asks Ben to leave because he tells him they've been scheduled for 5 separate gigs. So there was 2 bar mitzvahs, 2 birthdays, and then a roach extermination, because he convinced the people that S Club's music was loud enough to scare the roaches. So that happened. And then Dean tells the S Club that they're running in the marathon because his competitor, Lou Shaman, entered his band Enhance into the band, and he didn't want them to get all of the the attention from that. So Lou Pearlman, Lou Shaman, Enhance, NSYNC. There's just they're doing parallels to the real world, and I think that's beautiful.
Sorry, I was a Backstreet Boy fan.
I was an S Club fan. That's who I was. I didn't.
Well, I was too, but there was a big debate on the school bus, Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
And there was in mine too. I was like, do you know S Club's just better than both of them? Like, you could put both of those bands together, and I would still choose S Club.
Like S Club and Backstreet Boys are insane. It's just like a different category. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, not for me. It's a band. I have one loyalty.
I did in my heart, but you know what? When you grow up in the Midwest and no one knows who they are, you got to kind of hide your identity.
So Dean tells S Club that he's not running, but he encourages S Club to continue into the race. Ben arrives and apologizes to Hannah, but enters the race as one of S Club because they're just going by S Club. They're not going by S Club 7, meaning that S Club can exist with more than 7 members. They can exist with less than 7 members. They can exist with less than 6 members. They can exist as S Club 3, and they're still just S Club. For all of you World of S Club commenters who like to complain to me about things, throwing that out there, they can exist. The mobster then approaches Ben saying that they wanted to give him something from their boss, and they pull something out of their jacket, or they begin to, and Ben just runs. And at the same time, a gun goes off, which kind of, like, oh, they have a gun, they're trying to shoot me. So S Club begin the race, and they perform a bop. It is an absolute bop, Katey and Courtney, called Dance, Dance, Dance. It is a bop. I'm so glad that Tana, I'm so glad that Hannah got this moment to shine. But S Club are not taking this marathon very seriously, and they're jogging mildly and dancing. There's no seriousness to this. At one point, Joe is being chased by a dog. I wrote that down, Katey. So Joe is chased by a dog. Rachel, Hannah, and John get into a taxi randomly. John and Hannah stop for dipping darts, which we...
What did you just...
Dipping dots.
The way you said it was not.
And we did discuss in our S Club group chat that no one knows that we have that dipping dots is an American thing. So I'm not sure that the S Club knew what dipping dots was. But it's ice cream for everyone who doesn't know. It's little balls of ice cream. I've never had them, and neither has Katey. Courtney, do you have dipping dots up there?
No, but I do remember at some point we had like a vending machine for them in the mall.
Mm-hmm. That's typically
So-
what they are.
Oh, is that there's no store? I thought it was like a store.
I think it used to be a
I
store.
usually see them at the zoos.
I'm into a zoo because that's animal abuse, Katey. But we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, I think I did try them one time, and it doesn't taste good like ice cream. It kind of just tastes more like ice balls.
Yeah, I think it tastes more like yogurt, like ice yogurt, than ice cream. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't tickle my fancy in the same way.
It wasn't the same ice cream because you can't like.
Yeah, I've never, like, I'm going to eat a whole thing of Dippin' Dots. That's never crossed my mind. You know?
No,
I've never done that. So,
I want full
Ben-
flavor on my tongue.
Yeah, correct. Full flavor. So Ben wins the marathon as part of S Club, because remember, he ran in the race as part of S Club. So S Club wins, therefore beating Enhance, also known as NSYNC. And Dean wins the competition. Like, he wins the good press. Meanwhile, S Club arrive after sundown. Like, the sun is down, everyone's gone, the sign for whatever reason is still up. And we don't know, like, they're just done. So the mobsters reappear and they attempt to give S Club what was meant for Ben. And when they start to pull it out of their jacket, Rachel, out of nowhere, is so scared for her life, they're gonna shoot me. They're gonna shoot me, is what she didn't say that, but like
Yeah.
she screamed.
It's a kid
they're
show. We can't show a gun.
we can't show again, but we can, because remember, they did one at the beginning of the marathon, so we know they exist.
True.
But it's really just a piece of wedding cake to show that their boss has no hard feelings for S Club not performing, because Dean made it right and he had to pay a bunch of money back. So After this, we cut back to the S Club apartment, and Dean unveils the cover of the band's upcoming album. And it includes pictures from the raves of S Club looking absolutely parched and very unaesthetically pleasing. They are just sweaty. They're gross. I think one of them is panting. And this album, which I would very much like to own, is called Dehydrated. I don't know if y'all got that, but it's called Dehydrated.
Yeah.
And in response to Dean's album cover, S Club unzip all their jackets and they have a U Muffin t-shirt that Ben gave them the idea for. So that is the end of this episode, Katie.
And in that scene, when Bradley's sitting on the couch, he's clearly sitting with the dog.
Literally, I don't remember the dog.
Yeah, because even when he stands up and opens his shirt, he's still got the dog.
I'll have to rewatch that last scene.
Yeah.
I just remember, I'm going to send you the video of Joe getting chased by the dog.
Okay.
But it exists.
So, question. Is this album cover better or worse than the U.S. Never Had a Dream Come True?
Katie, that is not a fair question. That is not a fair question. I'm going to say on par with. I think they're both equally terrible, and neither of them deserve to exist in the world.
Okay.
And I think that's all I got on that. Courtney, do you have anything? Do you have a preference to Dehydrated or U.S. Never Had a Dream Come True?
I'm indifferent.
Now I'm going to go write a song called Dehydrated. It's going to be beautiful. So
I already have the album cover.
I already have the album cover. So the last episode we're going to talk about in this episode is The Stylist. And Courtney, did you want to go over The Stylist?
Yeah, I'd love to. The Stylist is probably one of my favorite episodes in the series.
Another
I just love their acting. Another the. We begin with the jam and butter dilemma that Tina is so stressed about.
So
she goes to the fridge.
I just want to pause you right there, Courtney. This pisses me off to my core. You use separate knives.
You don't do that. I mean, only one person would do that, right?
No, I don't do that. Like, and I make everyone in my household also do that. I made my brother go buy new jelly because he ruined the old jelly with butter.
Okay. Here's my question. Who eats jam and butter?
On a bun.
A lot more people than we think.
I've never ate jam and butter.
Try it.
It's very good. It is very good.
I mean, I've had peanut butter or jelly, but not like actual butter in
It
jam.
has to be on toast. It can't be on like random ass bread.
Oh,
I've
like
never had
buns for sure.
Or buns.
Yeah. Butter is good on everything, really.
I've never had butter and jam.
Katie, I need you to do that before the next episode so you can tell us how it is.
No. Have you had cream cheese and jam?
No, but I would beat that.
That is so
It's
good.
very similar.
Courtney, you have kids and you have a nephew. So y'all do this. Go get Eggos. Make the Eggos and then put cream cheese on one and then jelly on the other and eat it. Like as in like a breakfast taco sandwich thing. I love it.
That's stuck.
It's
That
delicious.
sounds like it'd be really good, but I will
It
not
is.
feed my kids Eggos.
I'll go get some Eggos.
Why,
I'll go to Walmart later. I have some and waffles.
why don't we feed our kids Eggos?
Have you read the ingredients? They're like deathly.
What do you
Okay,
supposed
make
to eat them then?
Make your own waffles and put jelly on the inside.
Yes, make your own waffles. That's the good alternative.
Oh, I thought that y'all were boycotting them because they're American. We're not going to
No.
support. Y'all boycott everything American. We support that.
Well, on the cream cheese, I don't know if you guys eat dates, but if you put cream cheese inside a date, that is actually unreal. Or cream cheese, or sorry, butter and dates as well.
I'll go find dates, and then Katie's gonna have jam and butter on toast,
Yes.
and you're gonna make your kids homemade waffles
Waffles.
with,
Yeah.
with cream cheese and jelly. Okay, moving on.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
I'm hungry.
sorry. We're almost done. We're almost done.
All right. Jam and butter. The jam and butter dilemma, because somebody put jam on the butter and it's disgusting. Tina cannot believe her eyes, and everyone else agrees as she goes around to all the members in the house saying, "Did you do this? Who did this?" And they're like, "No, I wouldn't do that. That's disgusting." But Paul comes downstairs and she asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, that was me." So later in the episode, they go over a teaching of Tina teaching Paul how to properly use the knife in the jam and use the knife in the butter. And that scene always made me laugh too. Put the knife in the jam, then in the butter? No, that's a bad thing.
Stick jam knife in jam, then stick in butter. No, that is a bad thing. What is it?
It's a bad thing.
Correct.
It's a bad thing. Yeah. But he just acts like such a kid about it. It's annoying but endearing at the same
They talk
time.
to Paul like a kid. Like you gotta treat him like a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, Tina's just being her authentically bossy Miami 7 self, and I love to see it.
Howard tells Dean when they're out for lunch that the band needs a more clear identity. They need makeovers because he can't keep them straight. There's too many of them. They need some very clear roles. And initially, they were all upset when Dean told them about what Howard said and the plan moving forward. They were quite insulted about how they weren't good enough. But the mention of free clothes got Rachel's attention, and next thing you know, they were there at the stylist. They meet Carmelita. She proposes their new characters that will help people remember them. Tina gets assigned the role of the cutesy girl next door. Bradley is efficient, bossy, and organized. John, flaky, untidy, kind of scruffy. Hannah is sensible and tidy. Paul is wacky and practical joker. And Joe is the intellectual and kind of nerdy type. So that's
Paul was the only
very
one that fits in.
besides Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul is so Paul just had to step up his joking game, and everyone else has to completely change who they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Rachel. She's the tough, practical, really good at do it yourself, and that's the farthest thing from this Rachel that we know. And I love.
She hired
So the
everyone to
band,
do everything.
Yeah, she's not doing it herself. She ain't got time for that. She'll break too many nails.
She's not a Courtney. She's not a Courtney, Katie. Can't do it herself.
She can't do it herself. She'll get someone else to do it.
And in case no one knows, Courtney, when she showed up to the Boston gig, she was decked out in S Club gear that looked as good, if not better, than the official S Club stuff. I'm just throwing that out there, Courtney.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you. I love to make things.
And we own some of I own some of her swag. You're still waiting on yours in the mail.
I have other swag.
That's true. You do.
Not Courtney swag.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
She sent me bracelets because I broke mine, and in that she gave me weren't you wearing them as earrings?
Yeah, and I made them into keychains too.
Yeah, I got a keychain. And
A bracelet too.
you sent me something else too, I feel. Oh,
I had socks.
it was the 7th CD.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She made socks for Chicago.
I do love to make things. It's so fun, and there's so many possibilities. You can't always wait for them to release new product on the merch store.
Make it yourself.
Gotta make it yourself.
And you need to make you muffin shirts.
I thought about it before, but it's very, I
Neat.
don't know. It would be a good conversation starter for sure. For anybody, because you could have something S Club and half the people won't even know what that is, but you put you muffin and they'll be like, what is your shirt about? And then you can tell them all about S Club.
I won't.
No?
Yes. That's why I don't touch my tattoos. I just say, oh, they're quotes I like. Like, I'm not getting into it.
Well, sometimes when I wore my S Club hoodie from the 2015 concert, I'd just be wearing it walking down the street, and you'll get random people that point to you and be like, hey, there ain't no party like an S Club party. And it just throws you off because you're like, what? Like, this is Canada. I'm in this not like a smaller place in
not here.
Canada too. Like, I'm in Manitoba, and you don't think anyone knows them, but no, there's people out there and they'll call out your shirt, which I love.
There's actually, I forgot when I went to Manchester for the opening night of the Good Time Store, there was someone actually from Georgia in the meet and greet with me. Like they flew from, like it was this, like they live like an hour away from me. I thought that was really cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
What are the odds? And we both went to the same night.
Makes you think how many other people were also there from Georgia.
I'm pretty sure we're probably the only two.
The band attempts to adapt their new identity roles. So they go around the house trying to be these roles that they're very clearly not. Rachel is attempting to put up some shelves, and I love how Joe's approaching her and questioning why she's hammering in screws into the wall for her shelves. She's like, they're called screws, you screw them in.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I recycle that all the time. Does anyone have a hammer for my screws? And my husband used to get so mad at me. He's like, you don't hammer in screws. I was like, you can't tell me what to do.
It's just faster.
You don't get it.
You hammer in screws.
Yeah, it gets there
He's
faster.
failing.
What's the worst that can happen?
The shelf fall down.
They fall down because they're not put in properly.
I don't see
So
that.
she puts up
I don't
each
see that being an issue.
and she broke 3 nails, and she tried.
Fingernails.
He did try.
Not what's it called?
Oh,
Nails. Not hammer nails.
hammer nails.
Nails. Yeah.
She broke 3 fingernails, and she got all dirty and sweaty, and she was not very pleased. And John is seen just cleaning up the patio, fluffing the pillows and tidying up, which he's very organized, and his character is supposed to be very not organized. So it was not in his role. So Joe calls him out and says, you need to try to be a slob. Like, you can't be fluffing pillows. You got to be making a mess. So she goes to try to train him and make him throw his gum wrapper on the ground. But that was really hard for him. So she needed Bradley to step in with his bossy role and yell at him and make sure that it stays down there so that he was slobby. When they're ever on the patio too, I'm like the roof patio, they've never used that pool. They have this beautiful pool. They've never used it.
Well,
You notice
I
that?
have a love.
They have
tank.
the ocean right there.
I'll never understand pools in front of an ocean. Never understand.
They all sit
Maybe
around,
they don't want to share.
but they never go in it.
Could be a fake pool.
It's just it's for show.
Yeah.
It's a pool for show. So my favorite scene comes in, and they are supposed to be going on to the Dan Blocker talk show and get interviewed about their new passions, and it's just a mess.
Side note, the character Dan Blocker is played by actor Jason Font. He is mostly known for his role as the Red Ranger in the series Power Ranger Time Force. Bradley has mentioned the Power Rangers a few times in the 4 seasons of the SClubBeat.
He's asking questions and they're not answering properly, and they're just overcompensating on every word and action. It's a little messy.
They don't remember who's who.
No, and they start arguing, and it's just. But it is my favorite scene. I think just Paul is so wacky and weird in that scene. I mean, they're also eccentric, and I think that's why I really enjoy that scene a lot. It always just sticks out in my mind. So they are worried about losing their true style. So Joe and Rachel have the idea of giving Carmelita restyling, and successfully convinced her to let them be themselves and not needing their new roles. So they perform the song Have You Ever, and part of it is in a weird green screen background. I don't know if you noticed that, but they have like 2 or one of them are just having close-ups, and it's just a green screen of their background when they shoot the music. Yeah, the fountain, and I'm just like, it looks obviously very green screened.
Something I want to point out is something that we've also pointed out in previous episodes is this episode, aired on November 17th in the UK, November 15th in the UK, and it was released as a single on November 19th. So the single release correlated with the single episode release. So that was just an extra little push of promotion.
Well, that's good because you is living in oblivion still.
Poor you.
Now heard it twice, and it's still not even a single.
And it won't be for a very long time.
Yeah.
It was all over the map, eh?
Yeah.
Say yay. Say that again.
Hey.
It's a Canadian
You're
thing.
Scottish, you'd say I.
So, yeah.
We're not making fun of you, Courtney, I promise.
I thought you were talking to Katie.
Yeah. No, I was talking to you.
What did I say?
A.
A? Did I say A?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Do I say it often?
You did.
No.
No, I think
I
that was
say
the
it
first time you said it tonight. That was the first time tonight.
Interesting. I didn't think I said A. It's very typical of a Canadian A, but I
I know that's why we
vocabulary. Okay,
I'll send you back the video.
that's almost the end of the episode. Just Dean and Carmelita convince Howard that the styling was a success. After the performance, he notices that they look the same, so he was a little concerned, but they convinced him and kind of fooled him into that's how it's supposed to be. Great styling should be effortless and minimal. So all is well, and they get to be their
It's inner styling.
inner styling. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's the end of the episode.
No, it's not. One of my favorite parts of the episode was where Tina comes across the jam and the butter, and it's again mixed up.
Oh yeah. The very end. Oh, I forgot to write that down. I was laughing about that. Yeah. So they had a little fight. Well, they were following each other around, chasing each other around, and
Sure.
what does she say?
What's it called? He said, I did that when I was wacky and crazy.
Right.
And then he says, my favorite is, you're the cutesy Tina. You don't even live here. You live next door. So stop using our jam and go and get your own.
Oh, but what happened to the cutie, Tina? You're the girl from next door. You don't even live here. You live next door. So stop using our jam and go and get your own.
That's one of my favorite.
Love that line.
That's when he's like, it's so simple. I'm like, no, it's not over.
That's very true.
I just love that part.
And
Where he's like, I don't even live here. You live next door.
Did anyone have any final comments on the stylist? No comments?
No.
Do y'all think S Club needs stylists?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
sometimes it's like they weren't there though.
But anyway, so that is the end of our second episode recap of Hollywood 7. If you would like to speak with Courtney, we do ask that you join our Discord at join.sclub.org. And Katie and I will also be there, and we love to talk with people. If you would like to follow Dale, you can follow him at World of S Club on pretty much everything. If you would like to follow Katie, you can follow her at Katie_Carmen on the Instagram. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe on this episode so we can know that we're doing a good job. Do you think we're doing a good job, Courtney?
I think you guys are doing great.
Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate you. And we will see you again next week where we finish our Hollywood 7 wrap up with 5 entire episodes.
I got
Bye.
2 next week.
She has 2, and so do I. Courtney's just going to be sitting back being pretty. That's all.
Study.
A good day. A good day.
Good day. But yes, have a great night, everyone. Go listen to Have You Ever, because that is what they were trying to promote with this last episode, The Stylist. And we had you listen to Don't Stop Moving a couple weeks ago. So just go ahead and listen to Have You Ever. It's fine. Yeah. But anyway, have a good night, and we will see y'all later.
You're listening to the S Club Beat with Dale and Katie.